So last week we learned a new way to solve a system of equations rather than by graphing, and it was by eliminating a variable. And so what we did was we started by making sure our equations were stacked on top of each other, and then we drew our line, and then our choices were to either add or subtract in order to get a variable to eliminate. So in this case, if I were to add, I could get my x variable to eliminate because 2x plus negative 2x was 0, which left me with 8y equals 24, and then I could just solve for y by dividing both sides by 8. Now remember, that was only half of my solution because I still needed the x variable as well, and to get that I took this y equals 3 and plugged it back into either place for y and then solved for x. On example 2, this would have been a case where if I had subtracted, I would have gotten the y variable to eliminate because 3y minus 3y was 0, which would have left me with negative 1x, or maybe just negative x if you'd rather, and then 2 minus negative 2, remember that would be positive 4. And in this case, I'd be finding the x variable first, but I would still have to go back and find the y variable by replacing x with negative 4. So today we're going to look at eliminating, but when there is not a variable that's ready to eliminate by adding or subtracting. So here on page 2, if I look at this system right here, it's asking if I could add or subtract right now and see if it would eliminate a variable. So if I were to add, I would get 8x and negative 2y, so adding would not eliminate a variable. And if I were to subtract, I would get 2x and 6y, because it would have been 2 minus negative 4. So adding or subtracting does not eliminate, so I've got to have some kind of a pre-step. So the pre-step that I'm going to think about is two ways. One would be like if I wanted to add, say, 1/5 and 1/10. So the thing I need in order to add fractions is I need a common denominator. So in this case, I would keep the 1/10, and I would change the 1/5 by multiplying top and bottom by 2. And that would change that fraction into 2/10. The golden rule of fractions is whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. And now I'd be ready to add because I have a common denominator of 10. Or maybe another example might be 1/2 plus 1/3. And in this case, my common denominator would be 6. And to change 1/2 to 6ths, I would multiply top and bottom by 3, getting me 3/6. And to change 1/3 to 6th, I would multiply top and bottom by 2, getting me 2/6. And so now I'd be ready to add with a common denominator of 6. So the reason I'm showing you both of these examples is because in this first example, I only had to change one of my fractions into tenths, and in the second example, I had to change both fractions. But to change them, I was using different numbers. So this same idea will come back as we're eliminating down with these systems of equations. So if I were to look at example 7, so right now adding does me no good. It would get me 8x and 8y. It doesn't eliminate, and subtracting also does me no good. It would get me 4x and 2y. So what I have to do instead is, just like I did with fractions where I'm kind of finding a common denominator, I want to find a common coefficient. As long as one's positive, they could both be positive, one could be positive and one could be negative, but they have to be the same absolute value. So like 6 and 6, or whatever number I can make 5 and 3 and 2, which would be 15, but we'll go with the x's. So the easiest thing I can see after scanning through is I could make my x's match by making this bottom equation have a coefficient of 6. And the way that I would achieve that is I would multiply the bottom equation, everything, by 3. Now that's kind of part of the key, is if I'm going to multiply the left side by 3, I've got to multiply the right side by 3 as well. So I'm going to keep my top equation as it is, which is 6x plus 5y equals 19. And then underneath that, I'm going to stack the new equation that I get by multiplying through by 3, which would be 6x plus 9y equals 15. And now I'm ready to eliminate my x variable, and I can eliminate it by subtracting. And so then I would have 6x minus 6x, which is 0, 5y minus 9y, which is negative 4y, and 19 minus 15, which is 4. Now I can divide both sides by negative 4, and y equals negative 1. So that's going to be half of my solution. Now to get the other half, I just have to take this y value of negative 1 and plug it into anywhere I see a y. I would probably do this top equation here. So I would have 6x plus 5 times negative 1 equals 19. 6x minus 5 equals 19. Add 5 to both sides. 6x equals 24. Divide by 6, and x would equal 4. And so my point of intersection is 4, negative 1. Don't forget when you're giving your answer, you need both the x and the y coordinate, and they also need to be in parentheses to show that you're talking about a point on the graph. Let's go down to example 9. So on example 9, I'm looking to see if I can get my x coefficients to match or my y coefficients to match. So think about it in the same way that you would think about a common denominator. If your denominator was 4 and one was 3, your least common denominator would be 12. If one denominator was 5 and the other was 2, your least common denominator would be 10. You can choose whichever one you prefer. If one was significantly smaller than the other, I'd probably do that, but in this case 10 and 12 are pretty similar. So I might just go with the x's because it comes first. So I might multiply the top equation by 3. That would get me 12x plus 15y equals 105, because 3 times 35, I might do 35 times 2 is 70, and then add another 35 to get 105. Now just like with fractions, when I changed, for example, back up here, when I changed 1/2 and 1/3 to 6ths, but I multiplied by different numbers, that's essentially what I'm doing here. Just because I multiplied the top equation by 3 doesn't mean I have to do that to the bottom equation. So I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 4 to get me 12x minus 8y equals 36. Now I'm ready to eliminate, and the way that I would eliminate is minus. Now maybe you're thinking I would have rather made this 10y and negative 10y because then I could add, because one would be positive and one would be negative, and there's certainly people that would do that. So I'm just continuing on here. In theory, if you did it that way as well, you would just get the other variable first, where in this case I'm going to get y first, because x's are going to eliminate. 12x minus 12x is 0. So 15y minus 8y is 7y, and 105 minus 36 is going to be 69. Then I would divide both sides by 7. Now clearly, fractions are fine, but I don't think we would have designed this problem this early on to have a fraction answer. So this, I believe, would be 9 and 6/7. Yuck. However, I'm going to pause that one there. So I know that my y coordinate would be 9 and 6/7, or I could even leave it as 69/7. I would then have to take this number and plug it back into where I see y to find x, and for the time being, I know I must have done something wrong. It's also possible I have an error in one of my calculations here. But more importantly, I just wanted to show that to get my x's to match, I could multiply by 3 on the top and 4 on the bottom. You just have to make sure you do it to all the pieces. Same on the bottom, you're doing it to all. Or I could have multiplied by 2 on the top and 5 on the bottom, which would have gotten my y's to match. So I want you to give examples 8 and 10 a try. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to check your answers. Remember, on example 10, before you multiply anything, you have to get this bottom equation rearranged so it's stacked in the same way as the top equation. So in example 8, I multiplied the top equation by 2 to make them both 4x. You could have also multiplied by 11 to make them both 11y. So for my top equation, I got 4x plus 2y equals negative 18, and then I subtracted. 4x minus 4x is 0, 2y minus 11y is negative 9y, and then be careful on this one. If there's an error, I bet it would be here, because you're doing negative 18 minus 9. Keep change opposite, you get negative 27, and so for a final answer of y equals 3. And I put that into this top equation to get an x answer of negative 6. So your point of intersection is negative 6, 3. On this next one, I first rearranged this by minusing 5x from both sides. I made sure to put the x term first. So negative 5x plus 9y equals 5 stacks nicely underneath 3x minus 7y equals 5. I multiplied by 5 to make this 15x, and by 3 to make this negative 15x. So I got 15x minus 35y equals 25, and then negative 15x plus 27y equals 15. And I could add to get my x's to cancel. Negative 35 plus 27 is negative 8. 25 plus 15 is 40. Divide both sides by negative 8 to get y equals negative 5. I then put it in here, and I knew that negative 7 times negative 5 was positive 35. Subtracted 35 from both sides, divide both sides by 3 to get negative 10, for a point of intersection of negative 10, negative 5. We'll do this page together tomorrow, so please do not worry about these word problems right now. If you want to try setting them up and solving them, you can, but I've got a spreadsheet activity that goes along with this. So we'll do this last page tomorrow.